You know, when you think about the power of old Hollywood, all those giant studios, that wasn't an accident. Not at all. It was a system, and it was built in large part by one man, Adolf Zukor. Get this. He was a Hungarian furrier who looked at the flickering images on a screen and saw an empire where everyone else just saw a cheap novelty. So let's dig into how he pulled it off.
This really tells you everything you need to know about his ambition. See, Zukor wasn't just trying to make a few movies. No, his goal was total, absolute control. If he could own the actors, own the studios that made the films, own the trucks that delivered them, and own the very theaters you sat in, well, then he could completely erase risk and guarantee success. It was a vision for a complete monopoly on the entire movie-going experience.
But to really appreciate just how radical Zukor's idea was, we have to go back and look at the world he was about to turn completely upside down. At the time, movies were all about the Nickelodeon era. We're talking cheap, throwaway entertainment. Short little one-reel films shown in cramped, often smelly, storefronts, mostly for a working-class crowd. But Zukor, he saw something else entirely. His vision was to create a premium experience. Think feature-length films shown in beautiful, grand theaters, something that would pull in a more respectable, middle-class audience with money to spend.
And his whole strategy was baked right into the name of his first company, the Famous Players Film Company. The slogan was Famous Players in Famous Plays. It's so simple, but so brilliant. He was going to elevate the movies by bringing in established, famous actors from the theater to star in adaptations of plays people already knew and respected. He wasn't just selling a movie, he was selling legitimacy. He was selling art. And he put his money where his mouth was with a huge gamble in 1912. He imported a French film, Queen Elizabeth, starring the biggest stage actress in the world, Sarah Bernhardt. Now, this thing was 4 reels long, which was an eternity back then. It was a massive financial risk. But wow, did it pay off? The film was a monster hit, and it proved once and for all that audiences were absolutely willing to sit down and pay good money for longer, more complex stories. The feature film was here to stay.
Okay, so Zukor has this new, premium product. He's proven people want it. But now he's got an even bigger problem. How do you actually get these movies out to a national audience? This leads to the next piece of the puzzle, building the distribution mountain. At first, he did what most people would do. He made a deal. Zukor's Famous Players company would handle the creative side, making the movies. And another company, W. Hodkinson's Paramount Pictures, would handle the crucial job of getting those films into theaters all across America. A simple partnership.
But for a guy like Adolf Zukor, a partnership was really just a stepping stone. By 1916, he made his move. In what was a pretty shrewd and frankly ruthless business play, he secretly bought up his partner's debt, leveraged it against them, and forced a merger. Just like that, he seized total control of both production and distribution and rolled it all up under that one powerful name, Paramount Pictures. So he's got the factory making the product, and he's got the trucks to deliver it. Now Zukor could focus on the real masterstroke, creating a totally unbreakable system of control that would make filmmaking less of an art and more of an industry, one that guarantees profits. And that brings us to the real million-dollar question. Making movies is a notoriously risky business, right? You have a few massive hits and a whole lot of flops. So how on earth did Zukor build a machine that could guarantee a profit on every single film they made, whether it was good, bad, or just plain terrible?
Well, the answer was an ingenious and incredibly powerful strategy called block booking. It was pretty much a take-it-or-leave-it deal for theater owners. If you wanted to get your hands on that one big movie with the huge star that you knew would sell out, you are forced to buy a whole package or block of Paramount's other movies, sight unseen.
Let's just break down how this worked. Imagine you're a theater owner. You absolutely have to get the new Mary Pickford film. She's the biggest star on the planet. Everyone wants to see it. But to get that one movie, Paramount forces you to buy a block of, say, 20 other B movies and shorts that you've never even heard of. The result? Paramount gets a guaranteed profit on every single one of those 21 films, from the blockbuster to the dud. It's airtight.
But even that level of control wasn't enough for Zukor. He wasn't finished yet. He realized the ultimate power wasn't just forcing theaters to buy his product, it was owning the theaters themselves. So he went on a buying spree, snapping up hundreds of the biggest and best movie palaces all across the United States.
And that right there completed his masterpiece. It's a system that business historians call vertical integration. Let's look at the steps. 1. Own the talent with ironclad star contracts. 2. Own the factory where the films are made, the studio. 3. Own the logistics, the distribution network that gets the movies everywhere. And the final critical step, 4. Own the storefront, the very theaters where people actually pay to watch. He controlled every single link in the chain, from an idea in a writer's head to the ticket you bought at the box office.
This incredible, airtight system didn't just make Paramount a giant, it literally became the blueprint for Hollywood itself, shaping American movies for the next 50 years. Zukor's model was the one everyone else had to copy to survive. All the other major studios, MGM, Warner Brothers, Fox, they all rushed to build their own versions of his vertically integrated system. This studio system, as it came to be known, was basically a perfectly engineered assembly line. It was built for maximum efficiency and total control, churning out stars, glamour, and movies on an industrial scale. It's what we now call the golden age of Hollywood.
There's no doubt about it. Adolf Zukor's vision took a flickering sideshow novelty and turned it into a global cultural and industrial powerhouse. But his legacy leaves us with a really important question to think about. What was the price of all that industrial control? What did it cost the artists, the creativity, and the kinds of stories that Hollywood decided were worth telling?